Hello, hello, hello. This is David and I'm trying to get organized. I want to do a video today on Judas. You and I both know that the Bible, at the Last Supper, portrayed that Judas was one of the faithful disciples that worked with Jesus. Judas also was the treasurer, holder of the money, treasurer of the 12 apostles. And Christ was close to him, and he served very admirably, and over many years, 3 years that Christ was in his ministry. Well, I want to talk to you today about your life and my life, and I've learned something, and I love this. This to me is therapy. This is my therapy. I learn almost every day something that to me is profound and interesting. I have a friend, and I'm not going to give his last name because these videos will long outlast me. Could be 10 minutes, I'll be gone. His first name is Larry. And Larry and I grew up together in Ojai, California. We attended the Ojai Ward. In fact, we built the Ojai Ward building back then in the 60s. And we went to church together. We went to the Young Men's Mutual Improvement, MIA, Mutual Improvement Association, together, and we had the same circle of friends. Larry was one of my only friends. You know, I'm pushing 80 years old now, and he was a faithful, a good companion and friend. I've known him 62 years. Unbelievable. 62 years. And we both graduated from BYU together. He was a security officer at BYU. Then I was teaching a ballroom dance in the college Department of Recreation. And we both were married. Our trailers, we lived in mobile homes, were across the street from each other. And we were both very active in the church. I did not go on a mission. Larry decided he wanted to go on a mission, and he did. And he went to Nova Scotia. And you know that I'm in this federal lawsuit against the Mormon Church in Salt Lake City right now. They said they were going to remove my name. They threatened to remove my name. It was supposed to be a threat, a warning, a punishment. I saw it as one of the few blessings that I ever got from the Mormon Church. They said they were going to remove my name from the records. They didn't. They lied. And I want my name off. And this is kind of interesting, because if I just called and said to somebody, gee, would you please take my name off the records like you promised, and they go, oh yeah, no problem, David, we'll take it off. They would have never gotten sued. I wouldn't have all these videos. I'd lose all this content. I make no money anyway, so, you know, losing it, what's the difference? The point is, the Mormon Church would not remove my name. I sued them. They still won't remove my name. Now, a couple of things going on here. What do you think? Why wouldn't the Mormon Church just say, fine, you don't want to be with us, we don't want to be with you, we'll take your patriarchal blessing, we'll take your marriages and endowments and all those things that we said we're going to take away from you, we'll just expunge it. Why are they not doing it? Why is the Mormon Church refusing to remove my name And now I've sued them. It's a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Doesn't matter. It's your tithing money and your fast offering. At least it's not costing me foolish money giving it away to a cult anymore. So, so far, we just started. We just put in the initial complaint. We served it. They responded back, and then we responded again. You can go into the PACER system and look all the things up. Well, we've only started. We're probably less than 8% into a federal lawsuit. They've spent your money, not my money anymore. I got smart. I go, you're not taking my tithing money and my fast offering money and my building fund money and my missionary money. They spent $50,000. I hope, I'm getting old, and I've told you, sometimes I say the wrong words these days. Please forgive me if I do. $50,000. Fuller and Lauder law firm in Salt Lake City, the Mormon Church, hired them because McConkie, the regular law firm that represents the Mormon Church, doesn't know anything about ADA law, Accommodation and Americans with Disability Act law. Well, David J. Jordan is opposing counsel. He was the Attorney General to the state of Utah, and he's got a resume, exaggerating, 10-15 pages long. He's been everywhere in Utah. He's gotten every award, every trophy, every accolade. He's had every newspaper. I mean, this is the god of attorneys in Utah. Well, why would the church hire him? If this was not a threat or an intimidation to the Mormon Church, of just remove my name. Just remove my name. Well, they've spent $50,000 so far. We haven't even started. We're not even through the post or the pretrial motions. So, number one, why is the Mormon Church going to spend your money and money they should have paid for hungry children and sick people and old people? Why are they so invested in seeing that my lawsuit does not get my name removed from the records? What's so precious about my name being on the records of the Mormon Church? Well, think for yourself. I'm thinking, and I've alleged, that they don't have the 17 million members that they purport to the public to have. It's nowhere near that. Pew and other research centers are showing that the activity rate of the Mormons who identify as Mormons is around 15%. I was just seeing how many chapels are being sold, especially in California, but throughout the United States, that the membership is dissolving, and that basically there's not enough members to have enough wards, even the ward and stake that I was in Ventura, California. I saw them build that chapel there. Beautiful, beautiful facility. I remember the old facility where I got my patriarchal blessing before they built the new one. Used to have many, many wards in it. It doesn't anymore. It shrunk. The church is imploding. They don't want to remove my name, and they're willing to spend. They've got $300 billion in a bank account. That's basically the money they have in reserve: land, stocks, bonds, cash. If my lawsuit proceeds and has any kind of success, the Mormon Church is going to have to not just remove my name, they're going to have to remove everybody's name that they excommunicated and everybody's name that resigned. Now, the lie is even bigger. They're lying probably right now about 6, 7, 8 million people that they don't really have. But if they remove everybody who has and is resigning, and everybody who's quitting and leaving, and the inactive, they're not going to have whatever, 7 million, 8 million, and out of that only 1 or 2 million actually going to church once a month at least. So here we are. Why is the Mormon Church wanting to spend $50,000 in 6 weeks? The lawsuit has been active about 6 weeks, and why don't they just pick the phone up and say, hey, David, we erased your name. It's not in there anymore. Please, let's stop the lawsuit. I would in a minute. But they're going to spend your money because they've got it. They're arrogant, they're capricious, they're arbitrary, and basically they're a bully. Well, my job is to stop bullies. I was born to stop bullies. So, take all that information as you may. You want to continue to send your money to brother Jordan, and not have the money go to the hungry people. That's your business. It's your life. You make your decision. I make my decision. And you know what? We're all going to be responsible in either a positive way and or a negative way for the decisions that we make. Some of them will be positive, some of them will be negative. So basically, I'm kind of updating you where we are, and the lawsuit is going forward. It is active, and they're scared. They're scared. Now, they may kill me. That may solve the problem. You know, Mountain Meadows, those people, they had no trouble. They just shot every man, woman, and children. I think there were 7 or 8 children they didn't shoot that were 6, 5 years old. But they can kill you. And Joseph Smith hired or ordered Porter Rockwell to go kill Governor Boggs. These people are violent. They have a very violent past. They've lied, they've cheated, they've stolen. The Reed Smoot hearings that went on because the government of the whole world didn't trust the United States and the polygamy. They couldn't even get the senators seated in the Senate because of their behavior. And of course, the history with the blacks and hating them and Brigham Young, and now we've got the 13 essays that the Mormon Church put out. And did they do that because they wanted to be transparent, honest, and have integrity? No. They put out the 13 essays because they're afraid of class action lawsuits, and this younger generation, which are leaving the Mormon Church in droves and droves. They can't hang on to the youth. They've got the history. The missionaries are coming home from their missions like crazy. It's the most amount of missionaries that have ever said, fuck this, I'm out of here. Give me my goddamn passport. Don't hide that, state president, and let me get on a plane. I'm out of here. And then, of course, the gay issue and lesbian and transgender and the immigration and the way they just hate people. Well, there's a long, long history there. And I had it very sad. Now, I hope I don't get emotional. It's been 2 days. I spent yesterday crying. I have this friend, and you can tell with my personality, I'm not going to have very many friends in a lifetime. If I have 1 or 2 friends in a lifetime, I'll be a lucky person. I'm bipolar, mentally ill, and you can see my personality. I'm not Mr. Sociability. People are uncomfortable around me. I don't take much shit from anybody. And most people just go, get the fuck away from him, and I respect that, and that's okay. So, in my law case, David Jordan, the opposing counsel, put in the court system, David has never been an employee of the church. there are some legal issues, what we call turns on certain legal issues. What does that mean? Well, I'm not going to go into it, but what it means is that there's a certain section of the law that they're trying to get out of because they say, I never worked for the church. Well, David Jordan is a fool. He can sue me. Sue me for libel. Sue me for slander. Because you know what? Truth is a total defense for libel and slander. He stated to the federal court in Salt Lake City, and paperwork, we just worked on it today, and he stated, David has never been an employee of the Mormon Church. I have been. He's either stupid, or he's lying, or he's stonewalling, or he's just incompetent. Remember, people can be very, very brilliant, like the Mormon prophet. I said this yesterday. Nielsen was a brilliant surgeon, unbelievable, talented surgeon. As a prophet, he's an idiot. He's Bozo the Clown. He's absolutely, totally unskilled. But as a surgeon, he's brilliant. Well, Mr. Brother David Jordan, my opposing counsel, made that statement. And the rules of the court in Salt Lake City say that you don't say shit. You don't put anything in a fucking form to the Salt Lake City federal court. It's not true. You better check. You can hedge your statement. I don't believe this, or we've done a research, but we think this. You can do that, and that's legal. But you can't say, David, the plaintiff, never worked for the Mormon Church, when it's not true. I worked in 1972 in Provo, Utah at Brigham Young University with the Department of Recreation. I was a dance instructor. I worked and taught and got paychecks from the Mormon Church. I taught social dance. I taught Latin American dance. I was on the ballroom dance team. I wasn't that good, but I was on the team. I worked under Alma Heaton. He's long dead now, but he hired me, trained me, and Ben DeHoyas was one of my supervisors and teachers. So David Jordan fucked himself. This is a brilliant attorney, but he doesn't know anything about ADA law. He knows a little bit about EEOC, which is when you work, you can go to the Equal Employment EEOC Commission. Anyway, let me get to the point. He lied. He either made a big boo-boo or he lied. Now, is the federal court in Salt Lake City going to bang him on the side of the head? I think he's in his 70s, and say, you know, as the prestige and the connections and the speeches that he's given and the press and all of the connections this man has, do you think the federal court in Salt Lake City is going to go, oh, that fat 77-year-old David, Sir David the Bard, Cockroach Disability Law Center, pro se litigant, is suing for millions of dollars, and he's right, and Jordan is the one that is right, David is wrong. You know, I'm telling the truth. I don't specialize in taking cases for the Mormon Church of child molestation. I don't represent the Mormon Church that has destroyed little boys and little girls' lives. I don't try to get the bishops off. I don't try to get the stake presidents off. I don't try to get the mission presidents off. I don't try to get these little children lives destroyed and say, oh, we didn't do it. I'm going to be the personal attorney for the Mormon Church. I'm just going to ask a couple of questions. What kind of a man would that be, in your mind? I know, in my mind, a man that specializes and makes millions of dollars and is prestigious, and he is the #1 attorney saying the Mormon Church is basically innocent, or let's pay less money to this little girl or this little boy whose lives were ruined, who, you know, were in the Boy Scouts, and who you know, were in the bishop's office one-on-one with the bishop, door closed, and the bishop, you know, banging down a 12 or 14-year-old, which is hereditary in the Mormon Church. You know, he said, well, that's what Joseph Smith did. I've got a 14-year-old here, and I'm going to ask her, is she morally clean, and does she masturbate, and if she does, please describe to me each time and how it happens, and the details, and the door is closed, there's no other adult there. David Jordan is the man that defends that. I sleep really well. I sleep really well. I try to make it a point not to have skeletons. I don't like skeletons. They're kind of scary. I don't want to sleep with skeletons. Mormon Church, if you don't think they've pulled an investigation background on me, you're nuts. $300 billion? They know each time I go pee-pee. They know each one of my children. They know each one of the jobs that I've had. They've run background. They're looking for criminal background, a juvenile background. They're not going to find anything. It's not there. It's frustrating the hell out of them. I put a video up. Take a look at why I quit law school. I don't want to defend child molesters. I don't want to put them back out on the street. I don't want to defend human beings who've destroyed innocent lives of men, women, and children. What kind of an attorney would be the main attorney defending the Mormon Church, saying, oh, they didn't do it, or oh, we don't have enough rules and regulate, you're not doing it right, oh, we're going to trick you, oh, we're going to manipulate you. But my job is bringing as much money as I can as a senior member of Lauder, but the Mormon Church, we're going to try to get it down. I've seen numbers, and I can't verify them, but I've seen numbers. For confidentiality, the Mormon Church will pay around $300,000 cash to you if you don't tell anybody about the molestation, and you don't sue, or you drop your lawsuit. What kind of a man is that? I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. You got your own mind. You've got your own morality, you've got your own thoughts, thinking, you can do your own research. But for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. I wouldn't be an attorney defending people who molest children. It's one of his specialties. One of his specialties. Well, let's get back to Judas. My friend Larry was being quasi upset and abused in his home. He needed a place to be as a teenager. My dad offered our home, and I don't remember these days if he did stay in our home, but it was only short. But we offered him a place to live, and a refuge. Basically, I went to Nova Scotia. I drove from Ojai, California to Nova Scotia, more than 3,000 miles, just to say hi, be loving, supporting his friend. Knocked on the door, and he comes to the door in his magic underwear, and his companion was there. And we sat, talked, enjoyed the visit. When we were at BYU, he lived in a mobile home, came to me one day and said, David, we have no water. The water has frozen. I said, hey, I'll help you. Let's get a torch. And you and I pulled the siding skirt off the skirting off the trailer. We'll get under there with a torch and heat those pipes and get your wife and you some running water. I helped. I did that. Let me cut this a little bit short because there's many other things in the relationship. He and I shared a girlfriend. I'll give you a name, Montel. Montel. She's probably dead. I'm not going to give her last name, but Larry and I used to drive up the 101 freeway, and he had his Chevy, and I had a 57 Chevy, and Montel would be in the back seat, and I'd go back in the back seat with Montel for a little while, and Larry would drive, and then I would drive, and he'd go in the back seat. It's pretty close, decent, good relationship. I was in California, and Larry called me one day, and I was very upset, and I said, what's going on? And he said, well, David, my I think he was around 10 years old. My 10-year-old boy locked himself in a closet, shut the door, and had a spray can, aerosol, and a match. And he was going to light the match and have a fire come out of the can. And, you know, boys.
You have disabled this skill. Please enable it in the Alexa app.
Let me go to the entire closet caught on fire. 3rd-degree burns on a 10-year-old boy. 70–80% of his body. He was at the UCLA burn center. And Larry was a policeman there in Ventura, California. It was honorable work. And he said, David, he said, he's in the burn unit. He's in coma. And we talked. Close. Close. Just like Judas talked with Christ. Supporting each other. Showing love, compassion, healing. And I'll never forget these words. So David, he was a good-looking boy. He played all kinds of sports. He was very popular in school. And when I looked at him and saw how hideous he looked, I don't know if I want him to live because of the way the world is going to treat him and the kind of life he's going to have. Those words burned into my soul, into my heart, into my brain, into my mind. This was a man that loved that child with every ounce of his being. And he loved him so much that he didn't want him to suffer. Well, I spent 4 or 5 days mouth to mouth, ear to ear on the phone with Larry and supporting him, trying to listen, trying to understand. I couldn't possibly feel what he was feeling. I've never had that experience, but he was my friend. He was my friend. Well, we went to the funeral, Ventura, California, and the hearse picked up the body, and I was in the procession. In those days, we would all be in the cars with our lights on, and we drove to Santa Barbara, about a 40-minute drive from Ventura, and we drove to a beautiful graveyard up on the hill, trees everywhere, grass on a mound and a hill that basically had some view of the ocean, the Pacific Ocean in Santa Barbara, which is a beautiful town, a beautiful place to live. Just weather's perfect, people, houses, everything. Santa Barbara is like a little heaven. Well, the hearse stopped, and I got out of my car, and Larry got out of his, and he came over to me, and my friend, See, I thought I was over this. I'm still not quite. I'm getting there. And he said to me, David, would you help me carry my son's body to the hole that we're going to put him in? Absolutely. And we stood friend to friend, man to man, shoulder to shoulder. I was at the front of the casket, he was at the front of the casket, and we walked it up the hill and put it by the gravesite. That meant a lot to me. I don't know what it meant to him. Now, the end of my story, I needed to prove to the court in Salt Lake City that I worked for the church at BYU. So I text Larry. I said, hey, Larry, I need a favor. Is there a way that you could just have a sentence, whatever, and verify that I worked for BYU? We were there 4 years. 4 years. I didn't get a text back for a day, day and a half. I thought, hey, he usually texts me right back. We talk every couple of months. Then a little voice said, he's not going to respond and do what you ask him to do as a friend. He loves his underwear more than you. I couldn't believe it. I thought, no. So I texted him again, and I said, Larry, is there any way that you could just make a statement, verify that I worked at BYU? I got a text back. No, I can't do that. I'm old now, and my memory is not very good. I'll give you a call tomorrow. I sat there, and then I heard, just like my patriarchal blessing said, the voice, the promptings of the Holy Ghost. This is not going to happen. I said, 62 years? And all he has to say is, I worked with David at BYU in 1972. What's that, 12 words? He can't do it. So I thought about it, and I worked and listened, and finally I said to text back to Larry, I understand. Please don't call me. You don't need to call me. So, 62 years, gone. Now, the reason I'm making this video, partly, 20-30% is for me. Maybe 70% might be for other people, even if just one person. I don't care about numbers, you know that. I don't monetize, I don't thumbs up, I don't care who listens, and I don't care basically about the comments. I was almost 80 years old here. I was upset. I was angry. I was very sad. I was disillusioned. I was shocked. I couldn't believe all the things I've been through with that one friend in my life, and he betrayed me. Now you and I both have been betrayed, whether you've been divorced, whether you've had children that have, run off and said hateful things about you, or a boss or whatever, friends. Betrayal is not new to most human beings. It is to me. I haven't had anyone really ever betray me. So I had all these emotions, and I thought, well, you know, I could subpoena. I know the law. I can go right to California, federal court. I can have him served and make a subpoena, duces tecum. I can, you know, make him go get an attorney. He doesn't know what to do with a subpoena. He's going to have to answer the subpoena out of state. Now his wife's upset at him, and he's upset. And he's going, well, see, David is the asshole everyone says. He's suing the Mormon church, and I'm a member, and I'm going to stand firm and praise to the man, praise to the man. So I thought, well, that's one alternative. I could subpoena him and make him either deny it under oath or admit it under oath. Cost him some time, fear, money. Then I thought, well, I could go on YouTube. I have a pretty good platform. I could give you his first and his last name, and then I could take a copy of the damn thing and send it to his email and say, look here, asshole. Now everybody, thousands, will know from now on what decision you made, and be responsible. Be responsible. They say all the Christian things. They're not Christians. Christ easily said, you know, thou shalt not lie. Christ said, bearing false witness. A man give up his life for his friend, no greater love. Again, he was raised in the Mormon church, and it's not a Christian organization. It's a cult. And he is loyal to the cult. He is not loyal to the principles of Jesus Christ. So I sat here today 4 or 5 hours and thought, well, do I want to do a video or not? And so I got a hold of GPT-4. She's my friend now. And I told her what was going on. And I said, go to the Urantia book and tell me what Christ thought, what Christ's emotions were when he said to Judas, go quickly and you know, do what you have to do. How did Christ feel? Did he feel like I'm feeling angry, hurt, upset, vengeful, want to attack? You know, that's the nature of a man. Women are much more, you know, kind and understanding. But men, we want to fight. And so she went to the Ranch book. It's 2,000 pages, and she comes up in 3.5 seconds. She said, well, David, he did feel sad. He felt remorse. He felt betrayed. He felt that it was his friend, and basically I said, well, then he felt like I feel. Rancher book said no. He felt sad and sorry for Judas. He felt bad for Judas, that Judas did those things to him, and he didn't want to retaliate. He didn't want to attack. He didn't want to tell the whole world. He says no. He felt sorry for Judas. That Judas made that decision for 30 pieces of silver and the crucifixion, identifying Christ to the guards, and then Judas committing suicide to end his own life. Then he paid the ultimate price. So that's why I'm here on this video. I learned it's a natural thing when people betray us to want to just fight. I see this gender-wise as a counselor. Hell hath no fury as a woman scorned. There's a lot of support for that particular concept. If a woman feels that she's been betrayed, rather than feeling sorry for the paramour, she is going to get even. You're going to get extra child support. You get bigger house. You're going to get both cars. I'm going to punish and punish and punish. Well, I can't address myself to that gender difference. Men can be the same. Men can be the same. But I learned that when now I'm betrayed, whether it's going to be the Mormon church next, I'm sure they're going to, kill one of my children or do some hideous thing to me and my family. But I'm not going to retaliate. I'm going to feel sorry for them. Because there is justice. Not in this world. Many times in this world you're not going to see justice. Courts, relationships, children, families, there's very little justice. But in the long run, down the road, there's justice. And people, me, you, have to account. It's not a judgment. The judgment, the Urantia book clearly indicates that the King James Version of a final judgment and whatever is just not true. But the principle is true that we will end up on the other side in the condition that we created for ourselves. Now we can grow, we can develop, we can move up the mansion worlds and improve. We could get detained in a detention world because we're idiots and we refuse to learn spiritually. But I've learned a very important principle, and I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. I'm mentally prepared that you can betray me, my wife can betray me, my kids, many of them have already betrayed me, and the Mormon church has betrayed me. I don't feel sorry for me. I feel sorry for them. Important principle. For me. For you, you may just throw in the trash, go, hey, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, and that's okay. It's just one person, even if zero. If I never had a subscriber hit this video, so what? I improved. I got better. I learned the principles of Christ. I don't worship the man. He's just a man in a body. Yeah, he was a God in a body. But I worship the principles that he said. Here's the playbook. Here is the owner's manual to be a human being. Do these things. You'll flourish. You'll be happy. And that's true. So, if you want to hate, destroy, betrayals, it hurts. It hurts. It's a physical hurt, there's a mental hurt, there's a soul, heart. It's not just one hurt. As a creature, it's hard for us to reach out to other creatures and depend upon them and to tell them our secrets and support us and share life. It's hard. And when we do that as creatures, and then they put the wall up and say, no, I'm not going to verify that for you. You're an apostate. You left the Mormon church. You're suing them because they won't take your name off. They have a right to keep your name on the records and associate you with the cult. And I'm not going to step forward, and I'm not going to man up. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Okay. Okay. So, here's my video on Judas. So I'll name the video something to do with Judas. This is a principle that I am so thankful that I learned. I never thought I would live long enough. The other thing that came to my mind, it just flashed through my mind to tell you, when Christ was on the cross, they were gambling for his clothes. He was. They usually put him naked on the cross, but I think he had a loincloth, is what Urantia is saying to me. But the people he was beside, one of them was ridiculing him, calling them this, get down off the cross if you're really God, etc. He was in a world of betrayal, pain, and suffering. And he simply said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And this is the man whose hands had nails in them, man suffocating. That was the form of the cross. Mostly it was, you couldn't stand up any longer, you suffocated. I learned, I feel privileged. I feel privileged that I can say to my friend, basically, Father, forgive him, for he knows not what he did. So, that's my video. I have to stand up. I'm using a different camera these days. I've got 2 cameras going now because of technical things that go on. So I have to get up and shut my camera off, and it looks stupid. I used to be able to just push the button. But anyway, that may be helpful to you. It may not.